should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing.
How do your levels look, Ryan Anderson? Let me see.
I don't know. You tell me, man. What am I sounding like? Am I pretty good or what? I mean, Matt,
you have a very southern twang, but you look good.
Yeah, Matt looks good over there. He's like the freshest always. Hornblasters, you know.
Damn right. Matt is live. Hey, Matt. Hey. What's up? All right, let's get this thing going. What up? What is happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, and I'm very pumped, and I'm very honored about my next guest. I got to get a few drinks with him about 2 months ago, and now he's live on the show for a big event that you might have heard of. What's up, and what's your name, and what do you do?
My name's Ryan Anderson, and I'm the driver of Son of a Digger. I am in the Monster Jam series. I'm getting crazy in the stadium this weekend. It's going to be insane. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of my dad, Dennis Anderson, and Gravedigger.
No big deal, whatever.
Yeah, he's been doing it for like 35 years, you know. He's like king of Florida in the Monster Jam industry, you know. It's just whatever, you know.
Yeah, whatever. How have you been, dude?
I've been good, man. Been having a blast. Been, you know, since I get here, every time I'm in Tampa, I hang out with my buddy Matt Heller with Hornblasters, and it's like,
dude, he's
just
a maniac.
Over the top always. But our season's been crazy. So far, I've swept the freestyle competition, which is like the biggest part of our deal, you know. So to win any freestyle is huge, and to be sweeping it like I am right now is like insane. So I'm on top of the world right now, and I'm hoping that this weekend I carry on the streak, whether it's rain or shine. I'm going to be getting crazy, and like I feel bad for my crew because they've worked really hard to get the truck back from where I tore it up last weekend. But this weekend is going to be like hell. It's going to be the worst weekend these guys have ever had because I'm absolutely going to drive that truck into the ground because Tampa, Florida is just insane. I mean, like, I go crazy when I'm down here.
How pumped are you for this weekend? Have you been meditating, getting laid? How have you been preparing for this to calm the nerves?
Honestly, I'm just like trying to like stay calm but stay focused, and then, you know, and then obviously when I get here and Matt brings me out, it all goes out the window. But either way, you know, it's really, you know, it's what I've done for my whole entire life. So to me, it's somewhat normal. But when I get ready to like tear it down, I get sleepy. I'll start yawning. Like,
but
I'm
then
in the truck,
once the
like,
weekend comes, you get turned up.
Oh my God, I get crazy. Like I swear to God, I'll be in the truck and like be dozing off and yawning, and then like my crew guy comes over the radio, is like, "All right, you're up next." I'm like, "All right, I'm getting ready to wreck this place." So when I'm sleepy, and I've already been sleepy this week, it's getting ready to get crazy.
How much sleep do you get per night? Like, do you ever feel like you're getting burnt out, or do you love your life so much that it doesn't matter?
It's good, dude. My dad created like the ultimate pathway for us. You know, back in the 80s, he started out with nothing, and now he's created a worldwide empire. So really, for me, every day when I wake up, honestly, during the week, I'm chilling at the house with Dad. Or I don't live with my dad, just, you know, for the record.
I was nervous there for a second. I was a little confused. You threw
so
me off.
We'll meet up, get breakfast, all that stuff, whatever. But then, like, during the day, I basically screw off. I mean, I've got, like, a super crazy new foiler that I got that's, like, it was, like, $18,000, most expensive foiler in the world. But it's freaking nuts. So I'm on that thing, like, every day, playing around at the house, building stuff, you know, checking on the shops. We've got a bunch of facilities where we do the whole monster truck deal. We build them, we maintain them, you know, everything monster truck, we do it at our shop. So I'm always there like every day. So, you know, I live and breathe monster trucks.
I can tell,
no matter
dude,
what.
You have a lot of passion. Now, for guys like Drew Brees, for them to get ready during the week, they'll throw the football in practice and have team scrimmages. For LeBron James, they have team practices. They practice their free throws. They do a bunch of things like practice. How do you get ready during the week? What is your way to prepare for each competition?
Really, it's just kind of one of those things that it just happens for me. I mean, a lot of guys get crazy and they train and they go work out and stuff like that. And if you've seen a picture of me, I'm not necessarily saying I'm no massive dude, but I'm far from in shape. So it's one of those things.
You have kind of a dad bod.
Yeah, for sure. So if you've got it, you've got it, and it's just one of those things. It's my job, it's my life. So during the week, I don't necessarily do anything in particular, like, okay, I'm going to do this and practice or nothing like that. Like, I'm just, like, hanging out. Basically, if I enjoy life during the week, the weekend is just insane. So I just go on every day, and like, you know, a lot of people say they live life like they're dying. I kind of do, because a lot of stuff I do probably will kill me. So every day I just roll on like, it might be my last.
What is the scariest moment you've ever had during one of the competitions? Because I've never seen it in person, and I worked an event today for the Bone where we took one of the grave digger trucks to a house, and dude, I felt scared just watching the thing get unloaded. So what's a moment when it was a close call?
There's been super close calls. Like I've honestly had probably the most sketchiest close call in the history of monster trucks.
Do you bring it on yourself, or is it just the luck?
Yeah, to a point. So there's things there's boundaries. So there's certain things you can and can't do with the truck, just like anything in life. So with my truck, with any Monster Jam truck, I know there's certain distances you can go with it, and I actually went past that one time and landed. We do backflips with our trucks. If you haven't seen it before, it's just nuts. So we basically run into like a half pipe, like a skateboard ramp, and it does a complete backflip, lands back on the wheels, hopefully. Well, one time it didn't work out so well. So I actually landed completely upside down. It actually broke my neck. So it was like a totally insane deal. And like a lot of people don't even know about it. And it's one of those things like, it's not normally publicized and things like that, because it's just kind of a crazy deal, but it's the one and only time it's ever happened, and it's one of those deals that it'll never happen again. We learned so much from the event that it was insane, but that is by far the most scariest, realist. Like I honestly would say, even for my dad, it was probably the most scariest event. My brother, the whole industry, it was probably one of the most scariest events because it's the most extreme thing that's ever happened. And
did you think you were going to ever move again? Like when you break your neck, did you ever think you might be paralyzed, or did you have hope that something good would come of it?
No, luckily, the way everything worked out, it was like it couldn't have been, like as bad as the situation was, it couldn't have been any better. So the doctors told me, look, you have a broken neck, everything is fine, you just need to take care of yourself. I basically couldn't lay down or get up by myself, so I had to have somebody support my head.
Did your girl do that for you?
Yeah, wore a neck brace, and all that stuff. It was all
cute.
good, so it was definitely a big deal, like I couldn't screw around, like because it was a severe break, a neck break. No matter how bad or how good it is, it's severe. So it was one of those deals. Like I totally lucked out. Like the bone, it actually broke into 3 different pieces, but it didn't move or anything like that. It all stayed together. It was kind of like a miracle, really. Like honestly, the doctor said, he says, you're lucky you're alive, and really you're even to make it through all this, and just. I came out with, basically I can't turn my head as far as I used to be able to. That was it. I mean, I still drive the truck. I actually landed upside down twice now this year doing backflips. And, since then we've upgraded the chassis and the roll cage design to where it will not do that again. So that's why I've done it 2 more times since then. And don't get me wrong, it's brutal, but I'm still fine. I didn't break any bones.
Now, when you're doing these flips in the air, do you ever get seasick or nauseous, or you feel like you want to throw up? Because, dude, I can't even go on any ride at a theme park without being a bitch. So I can't imagine what it would be like for me if I were you. So how is it when you do these flips in the air?
Yeah, the flips are no big deal because it kind of happens like
fast.
It happens so fast, but it is slow mo. It's kind of a weird deal, It's like getting in a fight, It's like it happens in 30 seconds, but it feels like it took forever. But so the flips don't bother me. Like when we do our donuts, though, like because our trucks are all-time full-wheel drive, they spin a super fast donut, and like you will get dizzy in that. If you hold a super long donut and then you want to try to whip out and go hit a jump, more than likely you're not going to hit it straight. So, but it all still works out. I mean, everybody, no matter what, that's the one great thing about Monster Jam. Like I can go out there and wreck, and I'm a hero. I can go out there and do a crazy, awesome job and not wreck, and I'm a hero. Like really, unless you like wreck on the first jump, everybody gets on their feet and just goes crazy.
Have you ever had it where you did so bad that the whole crowd unanimously boos at you?
No, luckily I have not. I've had my fair shares of like falling on my face and not doing what I want to do. I actually just recently tripped in Canada in front of like everybody. So the Jumbotron's on me, and we were in front of like 60,000 people, and I fell down, and everybody like, oh, and then when I got up and laughed, everybody cheered. So it was like, it's one of those things like no matter what you do in Monster Jam, really everybody's behind you. They're cool. It's normally a family-oriented deal, so everybody's all about it and they're going crazy. Don't get me wrong. There's people there drinking beer and having a blast, but it's no matter what I've ever done in Monster Jam, everybody's always been behind me.
How badass is the fan base? It seems like one that's very loyal and very passionate. I mean, these kids that came to the house for the winter, they got to see the Gravedigger truck today. These kids and these dudes who were 50 years old, it didn't matter what the age was, they were so pumped to see the truck live in action. So when I saw that, I got the vibe that you guys have some loyal fans. Am I right?
It's unreal, man. We do so much stuff that is not even put out, into the public and stuff like that. We do a lot of hospital visits and stuff like that, and some of the stuff that I don't even know that I'm doing it, or as far as all the drivers, we don't even know we're doing it, but we're going to visit, people that may have an issue or whatever, and we light up their world, man. It just goes crazy. And then we have our, all of our fans that are there. There's people that will travel all around the world to follow us. We had people come from Europe and Australia to our shop in North Carolina just to get my dad's autograph. Like, it's not, and we've already told them, like, okay, you call us and, buy the merchandise, we'll sign it and ship it to you. Nope, they show up live and they want to get his autograph.
Are you nervous about that? I feel like some crazy fans would show up.
No. We've had, my dad's the only one that's ever had, like, incidences that were kind of, like, a little sketchy, but we're just, we always promote ourselves, not really promote ourselves, we're normal people. We just got a sweet job. My dad rigged it up where we lucked out. We're nobody different. We just got a kick-ass job.
That's what I liked about you. When we got to go get a few drinks about 2 months ago, you seemed like the everyday dude. The one difference is you had the cash to buy us a lot of shots, which I appreciate. But besides that, you never acted like you were better than us or anything. That's what I like about you guys is you're very humble.
Yeah. That's how Dad's completely brought us up to be. My dad's like, he's one of those dudes. He gets recognized in public a lot, and you would never know. Like, he's honestly corny when people recognize him. Like, yeah, man, that's me. Blah blah blah. And he's not even like he's trying to pump it up or anything like that. He's just normal dude. And when people recognize him, he doesn't try to hide it or like look away or anything like that. He never ever has he done that.
Do you ever feel any pressure to live up to him? Like, for example, Michael Jordan's kid. We don't even know his name. He tried to play basketball 10 years ago. He bombed. Now you haven't bombed, but do you ever feel the pressure to have all this success for a long term to live up to your dad's legacy?
Not really. I mean, honestly, I've been around it so much my whole life that it's what I've grown to know is normal. It's like I do get nervous, but I get nervous to let the people down. That is 100% it. Like, I'm not nervous to let my dad down because I know he's going to, even the fans, I know they're going to be there, but I want to do everything I can do to make sure those people get out of the seats that they paid for and are on their feet just going ballistic because I did something that was just insane on the track. And that's one thing that does make me nervous is that I won't be able to accomplish that. Like, I don't want to go out there and crash on the second or third jump or 10th jump. I want to go till the red light comes on and go past it. Like, I want to go the extra 10 miles for the people because that's what my dad's always done. And that's why, like, when my dad comes to the stadium, 90% of the people are on their feet when he just walks out onto the floor.
What is the key to having a good time out there and being successful? Like, for me, I judge myself by how good the interview is, like this one's perfect, or how good my rant is. So basketball players might judge themselves by how many points they get, or quarterbacks by how many yards they threw. How do you judge yourself by saying that was a great day, that could have been better, or I was awful? How do you judge yourself?
When I get out of the truck and it's upside down with no body left on it, preferably a wheel broke off, probably a little fire, and I can't even hear myself think because there's 70+ thousand people just going ballistic, my job was done, and it was done right. So that's, to me, like, as long as I can get out of the truck and it's preferably tore up, sometimes it's not always tore up, but majority of times it is, and the people are going ballistic, the job is done right. And it's been times where I've got out and it was tore up, but it tore up too early. The people are still on their feet because whatever happened was spectacular. I didn't make it last long enough like I wanted to.
What's it like when you do this badass move and the whole crowd is cheering so loudly for you? What is that moment like?
It's like, I don't know. I guess it would be like shooting steroids. It's like so crazy. Like, it makes me rage out, So like when I'll do a backflip early in my run and land it, and I know my crew chief has contact to me. I have a headset in my helmet, so he'll like get on there and like chant on like, yeah. So when he does that, I go nuts, man. So like I get such a hard adrenaline rush. Like, I can't even remember what I did because it's just so extreme. And after that, like, it's balls out. Like, I'm hitting the jumps that I normally would hit at, like, half throttle, wide open with zero care, like, just going ballistic, like, doing whatever the most unrealistic thing I can do and hoping it pulls out of it to try to do something else again. But it's one of those things that just, after you do something you know is badass, you can't even explain the feeling. There's no good explanation for how amazing it is.
Now, what does the crew chief say to you in the headset? Is he giving you advice? Is he, like, coaching you? Does he ever talk smack to you to try and wake you up if you're not doing well? What is he saying to you in that headset?
On racing, he stays in my ears a lot more. So in racing, like, he doesn't necessarily try to talk to me while I'm actually driving. But if I'm pulling out to the line and we know, okay, the guy that I'm pulling up against for this race has a standard his times are a little faster than mine. They have been for the day. He's pumping me up. He's telling me, look, dude, you got to stay smooth. You got to be fast. He gives me the pointers I need. But after that, freestyle, and freestyle is our main gig, man. That's where, like, we go crazy. That's what everybody knows us for. And really, he doesn't say nothing to me until we have a 60-second or 90-second time that we get to run. And then after that, there's a 30-second bonus. So he tells me 10 seconds before my 60 seconds or 90 seconds is up, go do a backflip. Go do a backflip. So that's like my signature crazy move, and I want to get that done in my regulation time so I get the most amount of points for it. Then after that, he tells me I'm in bonus, and if I landed it, he's wigging out on the mic, going crazy. So after that, it's just balls out nuts, man. I mean, we're going all out, and he doesn't really care. Like, he has to fix everything that I break. That's his job. But most of the time when I pull out on the track, he's telling me, go tear this place up.
Now, for people who have not watched it live yet, what is the key to winning, and what is the key to getting the points?
For the racing, it's pretty obvious. The fastest man around, the first man across the finish line wins. We do a bracket style racing, so there's two sides to the bracket. Whoever wins that side of the bracket ends up in the finals, and then from there on, whoever wins that final round is the champion of the race. After that is the main gig, the freestyle. So freestyle is a little more technical. Like I was saying, we get a 90-second regulation time and a 30-second bonus time. So in that 90-second regulation, it's 100% show off, do the craziest, wildest stuff you can do. And then after that, if you last that there's a set panel of judges that judge you for that, then you go to your bonus time. And you want to carry that on even harder into your bonus time. Bonus time, you can only get a score from a 1 to a 4, but a 4 is super hard to get. A 1 is, like, fairly easy. But in the regulation time, you can get all up to a 40. So there's a pretty big score difference there, and you can go so many different ways. You don't, like, a lot of guys, they'll try to go out there and spin their whole time. They want to make sure they use every minute, every second out there on the track. And that's fine. You can do that. That does help with your score. But if you don't go out there and do something worthy, you're not going to get good points.
Have you ever felt like a judge has screwed you over, or you did not agree at all with her scoring?
Absolutely. It's happened multiple times. But most recently it happened, and it was a big deal. And it's still, to this day, like a pretty big controversy. So at our World Finals in Las Vegas, which is like the event we build up to, and it's just the nuts, like, craziest deal that Monster Jam does. So it's 3 days back-to-back of Monster Jam. So the event's so big and there's so many trucks there, we have to have 1 day for qualifying, 1 day for racing, and 1 day for freestyle because we can't fit it all in 1 day or even 2 days. So from that, I've went there every year that I've competed. So this will be my 6th year going to the World Finals. And every year I've fell on my face. The people have always cheered me on. They've always been behind me, never booed, nothing like that. But I've always just never done like what I wanted to do. Last year I went there, went all the way to the finals in racing, and I actually flipped over in the racing final. So I'm cool with that. It was a heck of a lot better than I've ever done, but I went out in style. That's my thing. I don't want to just straight up lose. That sucks. But if I can lose in style, crashing out and getting a save, whatever, that's cool. But then after that, I went to my freestyle deal the next day, and I did the dude that was in the lead, he went out and did an awesome run. Did 2 backflips. It was crazy. So I went out and did everything he did and more. I did 2 backflips. I went bigger. I jumped more. I did everything that I needed to do above him to get the higher score. And they scored me down like way down. It was crazy. So I instantly on the mic called them all out, and they sit front row right there. So I walked over to the side of the stadium, was calling them out, pointing my finger at them, just going crazy. I was really pissed. I mean, there was no getting around it.
Could you get fined for how you react? Or is it one thing where you just don't even let it get to that because you know you can't get that mad?
Yeah, no, we don't necessarily get fined any money. We can definitely get, in trouble for, we don't want to be, terrible on the microphone. Absolutely not. Because
obnoxious.
Our people are, we have a lot of kids and a lot of families at our events. So you have to definitely watch what you say, without a doubt, But in those cases, that's good. It's good controversy for them, but we don't get fined for anything. And I'll be honest with you, when I started doing that to those people, they had to get escorted down onto the track and off away from the arena because people were trying to fight them. There was people, people get crazy at that event. Like people dressed like me and my dad, and like any driver for that day.
Does that creep you out?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's what I've grown up with. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's kind of weird, but. It's at the same time, like when they come up and hang out, as long as they're like, if they come up and they can, they're cool and we talk and everything and it's awesome. I'll take pictures with them, all that stuff, just like I do anybody else, And if they don't act weird to me, whatever, do what you want to do. It's fine.
Has there ever been a time, though, even though you've said you've never had things with fans, has there ever been a fan that's creeped you out a bit more than another one? Like, are there fans at times where you're just trying to back off?
To a point, we go to some places and it's it's off in foreign countries and stuff like that, and things are a little crazy. Like I went to the Philippines.
Oh my god,
and that was
sounds
like
insane,
nuts. So the people over there, they're super nice. They have super good memories. Like they remember your name off of anything. Like it's crazy. So when we were over there, everybody come up and they instantly knew my name, and I'd never been there before. Monster Jam had never been there before, so it was totally new. And they knew everybody's name and a lot of info about the show. But they had no in the Philippines. They don't really like personal space isn't an issue over there, which is it's cool. Like I'm not saying like I'm trying to have a bubble against everybody,
but you need your space.
Yeah. So like if you want to take a picture of me, I'll throw my arm around you. You throw your arm around me. Thumbs up. All that stuff's cool. That's fine. But there are certain things that's kind of odd. And that was one of the times I ever was like. Just took a step back, like I don't want to talk to you.
Do they like
really
rub
close.
your back? Like what is the
no? They
part
just
about
like
it
they
that
wanted
creeps you
like
out?
they wanted to be like 3 inches away from you, face to face, talking to you, which is it's
That's weird.
It is and isn't.
Like they're trying to kiss you or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like they could have kissed me, and I wouldn't have had enough time to react.
Now, do you have a girl right now?
No.
How do you do?
It all depends on where you're at and what's going on, but
Do you ever name drop, or are you able to just get?
No, I don't. I honestly don't like to do that. It's one of those things I'm not big on doing. But to be honest, it happens a lot because if I'm with people normally do it. Which it's cool. It doesn't bother me, but it's not one of those things like I don't run up to it like a hot chick. Hey, you know who I am? Hey, So I don't do that. If it's whatever. So it's not something that I'm against, but I don't like. Go out and like try to push it.
By no means am I as famous as you, or am I comparing myself to you. But whenever I've gone out with friends, I would say I'm a Z-list here in town, but I'm on the radio every Monday and I do this award-winning podcast, and they'll be like, do you know that's Ryan Hoppe from 102.5 The Bone? And don't you get a bit embarrassed when they do it for you? You just kind of sit in your seat and you're like, hi, this is what I want to order. Like, it just feels weird when they're forcing you to, like, name drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it depends on who does it and how they do it, So, like, certain people can do it really good. Like, Matt is good at it.
Matt's quite the wingman. Dude, I love this dude.
We were just at sushi, and Matt's like, hey, this is my buddy Ryan. He drives monster trucks for Monster Jam. It was, like, the most legit name drop ever. So I'm like, yeah, heck yeah. And, like, it makes you feel important, So it's cool. But there are some people that, like, you can tell they're more excited about it than anybody else. They're like, oh, it's Ryan. Oh, so they get all crazy, and those are the ones that's like, rather than not, but at the same time, you just got to deal with it.
You can tell who's pumped to be around you and cares, and then you can tell who's just trying to get attention off of you. Like, look who I'm hanging out with. It's Ryan Anderson. Those are the douchebags you have to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. And it's I'm game to hanging with anybody. I'm the type of person like I can go out. hang out with anybody and have fun. I can make fun out of basically
You are the life
everything.
of the party.
Yeah.
Dude, you were so much fun to party with, man. You were funny as hell. You and your buddies, man, we were just kicking it outside of that bar, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. Anytime with Matt is a good time, man. He's always that dude we always look forward to coming to
Matt
Tampa.
cares about us. He, like, treats us.
Yeah, he's the best, dude.
He just goes up there, and he goes, yeah, I'm Matt. And they just have the bar wide open. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
oh,
he
yeah.
can get us whatever he wants.
He's
Were
got-
you there at that outside bar when I was a bit tipsy, or more than a bit tipsy, and I knocked over the lamp that
I
was
didn't
outside?
see that part. Didn't see that part.
Oh, my God. My 6'8" frame knocked over this lamp that was outside at that outside bar we were
Yeah.
at. And it fell on a few girls.
That's nice. That works
And
out
that's
good.
when I realized I needed to calm down a little bit on how much I was drinking.
Yeah, it
Dude,
happens.
That night was legendary. What was your
Yeah.
favorite part about it? I just think it was so much fun. The weather was perfect. We're out till 4. We're just driving around having a good time. Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of fun.
It's one of those deals. Like it's like I keep saying, when you hang with Matt, it's like you never really know what to expect. But like I honestly enjoy riding around in his sick freaking F650 6-door and blasting horns. So we roll up into a pack of
yeah.
like 1,000 people, and they're so
Horn blast
close.
that bitch.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. If Matt come to my hometown, he would probably be the most hated guy in the world.
Why would people hate Matt?
Because he actually hooked me up with a sweet set of horns for my truck. And, like, even my dad does enjoy them, but at the same time, he hates them when I get him. And I actually, no lie, the latest person I got was the state trooper. So our state trooper guy, he's
Did you get pulled over?
No, I didn't get pulled over. He had somebody pulled over in our place because we have, like, a whole spread, the Digger's Dungeon. So, like, you know,
It
people
sounds like
come.
a scary place.
Yeah, no, it's actually way cool. So, like, you come up there and hang out, and you can check out the monster trucks. We got a novelty store, all that stuff. But either way, it's kind of one of those spots, like, it's a hot spot for the cops. So they always pull people there. It's like a bad place for speed and all that stuff. So, state trooper, I'm good buddies with him. We hang out, you know, all that stuff off, you know, when he's not working. So he pulls somebody in there at our place, and I'm rolling through, and I kind of like knew he was there, but I was like, you know, trying to act like I didn't. So I train horned it, and he's trying to like actually write the people a ticket. He's like hanging in their window, and he freaks out and like he's kind of one of those dudes. He's really uptight, especially when he's on the job. So he's like grabbing
Cops
his
have
belt.
to be
you know?
like that.
Yeah. I get it. You know, like, I'm good buddies with him. So he like reaches and grabs his belt, and he looks back and he sees me there, and he's like, "Why do you got to do this when I'm trying to be serious, man?" And like I'm saying, if Matt come to my hometown, he would be like probably the most hated, but like people would probably still like. You can't help but like him, but they would hate him.
You
at
can
first.
kind of hate him. He's got a bit of a douchebag attitude. Like right now, he's laying back. He's too cool to be on a podcast. It's ridiculous.
He's
Have
on the
you-
Snapchat, man. He's doing it for the Snap right now.
Oh,
Horn
so
blasters.
important, Adam. Mad horn blasters. Oh, good riddance.
Yeah.
Have you had any friends over the years? No, Matt's a good friend. Matt's loyal. Matt
Yeah.
cares. But have you had any friends that you just had to get rid of because they were toxic in your life?
Not necessarily. Like I honestly kind of keep a small group to a point. You know, like I've got my local buddies from home that we've grown up together and
From
stuff.
North Carolina?
Yeah. And so we're like, you know, super tight. We hang out during the week and, you know, all summer long, all that stuff. But there's not necessarily been anybody that's been too much. You know, like there's always that person that kind of brings it over the top, whatever the case may be. But it's one of those deals that, like, luckily hanging around my dad, I've learned how to deal with people really good.
Those
So-
people can be fun, though, to a
Yeah.
point. If you can bring them in like a ringleader at the circus, if you can kind of bring them in and have them quit acting so obnoxious, those people can be the life of the party. But if those people take over and they get too drunk or too obnoxious, that's when you have to get them out of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, luckily I haven't had to I haven't let it get to that situation. I would guess you could say, but you know, it's one of those things. Like I said again, you know, my dad, he's like always dealt with the public, so it kind of made it easy for me, like to deal with the people and everything. Like it's my job.
What's the best advice your dad has given you over the years?
There's so many things he's taught me without even saying it or doing it. You know, just watching him and kind of copying what he's done and things like that. But honestly, the biggest thing that he's probably taught me is like, you know, yeah, winning is awesome, winning's cool, but if you go out there like and totally blow the fans away and do the craziest run or freestyle or anything like that, you win. You're the hero. So, you don't necessarily have to go out there and collect the points and get the medal and things like that. You can go out there and impress the people, and without all that, and you're the winner. Like you'll come through the line, and it's happened to me a couple of times. It's happened to my dad millions of times. Go out there and do a crazy show and not win, and the dude sitting beside him with the trophy and the champion, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And the fans will walk right past him to tell my dad or whoever, me.
Well, your dad's a legend. That might be a no name.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no. It's happened with legit people. Like I've had it happen with me with people that have been driving longer than me, and they'll walk right past them.
Does it hurt your ego?
Not necessarily. No. It doesn't. I always just take it in stride and keep rolling on, because no matter what, I always know that the people, the fans, our fans are so loyal. Like especially kind of coming off my dad's footsteps, and I've took a lot of his fans in or jumped on board with him, and those fans are just so loyal. Like it wouldn't matter what we did if we even just went out there and idled around, they're still going to come through the line and love us and want our autograph, and we got about how awesome it was.
Was there ever a point that you didn't want to do this, since everybody does, your brothers, your dad, or was this always one of your interests?
It was one of those deals. Like I never even thought about doing anything different. I joke around and say we didn't have a choice. We did. My dad would let us do whatever we wanted to do, but at the same time, my dad paved the road with gold for us.
So you
in the Monster
sort of
Jam
wanted
series.
to live up to it.
Yeah, it was it wasn't even not necessarily I wanted to live up to it, but who doesn't want to drive a monster truck? Who doesn't want to get paid to drive a monster truck? And in my situation, who doesn't want to get paid to drive a monster truck and instantly get everything that you need to be the best? And that's what my dad did for us. So for me, there was really no other choice. It was, and I always I say I wouldn't even be good at bagging groceries. So if it wasn't for monster trucks, I would be screwed.
Dude, I'm the same way. I need to make it in radio where it's my one job. I'm not good at anything else, dude. I'm not coordinated. You've seen the way I walk. I'm not the most socially normal person in public. This is all I'm good at, dude. Did you ever feel that way maybe when you had to fight adversity where you're like, this is all I can do. I have to make this work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess not
a
really.
A little bit different because your dad's a legend and nobody was in radio in my family.
Yeah.
It might be a bit different on my end.
Yeah, I would
say
say
what I mean,
for
where you
sure.
have to fight adversity.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that you're chasing your dream, and for me, I lucked out, by a long shot. With my dream was kind of drawn by my dad for me to just jump in and roll. So I definitely see, where you're coming from. If you didn't have what I had, where it was basically a shoe in, that's a tough one to break. And we have those people. I've seen so many people like you that wanted to be in Monster Jam that had no connection whatsoever.
No talent.
Well, those two, yeah. But you obviously have talent on the mic. You're good with this. So
thank you, sir. You're
good. But there's people like you in your same situation, didn't have any connection to Monster Jam besides being a fan, but they ended up coming in. Now there's one kid, for instance, that he lived in the bottom floor of my house, and I made him cut my grass and do yard care for rent because he wanted to drive a ride truck for us so bad that his parents shipped him down from Iowa or something like that.
That's weird.
To do that. Yeah, so he had nowhere to stay and had no money, all this stuff. I'm like, dang it, all right,
Is he
kid.
there now?
He's actually in the Monster Jam series now, and he's legit
Are you
good.
happy for him?
Yeah, it's awesome, dude, because he came from not necessarily saying nothing. His family had everything going on, but he came from nothing in the Monster Jam world to now being legit. He is one of the top dudes on his tour.
Do you view him as competition?
I will when he's racing against me. See, now he's not on my tour, so
He's not on your level yet.
Yeah, so once he gets to my tour, then yeah, absolutely, he's competition, and I no longer like him. No, I'm just kidding. I like him, but yeah.
How often do you see your rivals? Do you ever see some that you hate? There's nobody really here at where I work that I hate because everyone's been so gracious to me and helped me build this brand. But there's people in radio that I want to take down and I want to be them. So are there any competitors that you're not a fan of that you want to take down badly?
Yeah, there is, and there's very few of them. But obviously, if you followed Monster Jam whatsoever, Max D and Tom Mintz has been my dad's ultimate rival for years, since the early '90s, and that dude's always been a thorn in my dad's side, and my dad's been a thorn in his side since day one. Well, Now I roll in and I'm kind of like the young punk that, my dad, set everything up and gave it to me. And I come in and I started racing against Tom and being a thorn in his side too. And he did not like that whatsoever. And I get it. And I give him full respect for driving as long as he has and, doing what he's done, accomplishing the things he's accomplished. But the dude is the biggest sore loser. And like, he absolutely hates me because I beat him. And like, that makes me like,
what a sour loser.
Yeah. And like I say, I love that dude because I've learned so much from him. Not necessarily he's taught me like, here, this is how you do this or this. I've just watched him over the years.
Sounds
and learned.
very jealous of you.
Yeah. And then when now he like absolutely hates me. Now it makes me hate him. It's like, now I can't stand, like I want to absolutely squash him in our competition.
I hate people that get egos. It's like, we're nobody at the grand scheme of things. Like, there's so many people on this planet that we're nothing. Like, shut up. Like, really? You're going to let it get to your head? Like, shut up. Like, it just gets me so mad. Especially these radio people that hide behind fake names, dude. And they act like hard asses, but they're like pussies and nerds off the mic. Do you have that? You can keep it clean. But do you have that where you're like, come on, there's no reason to have an ego?
Yeah, to a point. There's some guys, and there's like in our world, you gotta have something to go off of. You gotta have some type of niche to put you above and in front of everybody else. So there's dudes, and I understand they're trying to use like a cocky attitude or whatever to kind of stick out, but it's
they're
like
overcompensating.
Yeah, so I just kind of like brush it off like whatever. I'll beat you on the track,
That's why I think you're humble, is you have something to prove, where you want to prove your dad wrong. And since your dad's so humble and likable, he keeps you on track. But these kids are trying to show their dad or show the hater something, so they're being something that they're not, and they're overcompensating. And people that overcompensate in life are some of the most fake individuals you will ever meet, because they're not being themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, and it happens. It happens everywhere. So, we definitely see it in our world, and just like everybody else sees it in their world.
Now, do you ever find yourself hooking up with girls that are kind of fake, and they maybe just come on to you because you're Ryan Anderson? Or since you're from the South and you're humble, do you try to get with girls that are more likable, that want to be with you, not just because you're son of a gravedigger?
Yeah, so like I'll put it to you this way: like if I'm out somewhere, or if I see a girl, I'm not gonna walk up to that girl and hope that she's like super snooty, and I'm not gonna go up to her and say, "All right, I'm Ryan Anderson and I drive a monster truck and we need to hang out." I would never ever say
hang
that.
out, yes.
So yeah, so if I go up to a girl, I'm gonna go up to her and talk to her just like I'm any other dude that's around the area. So I don't normally do that. I don't like doing that. If she's not gonna hang out with me because of me, then I'm not going to hang out with her because she wants to hang out
Have you
with
ever
me
hung out with a girl where she didn't know what she did for the first few dates, and then you said that?
Yeah.
What's that reaction like when she finds out?
It normally works out pretty good.
Damn right. What is your go-to pickup line so that you can seal the deal?
Dude, I wouldn't necessarily say I have a go-to
You just
line.
like buy them
it's,
drinks because you have money? You just
No,
whatever you want,
that,
honey, it's on the house. I'm Ryan Anderson.
I don't do that neither, because then you get the ones that take advantage of the situation. So you just kind of got to roll. Like, you got to check them out and see what if you're spying a chick up, you can't just go up and say, okay, this is my pickup line and I'm going to say this to every girl, because that just doesn't work.
What type of swag do you have? Is it just laid back? You kind of look at a girl from across the bar, you wink at her, and she likes your dad bod, and she gets into it. How do you do it, though? I feel like you're trying to keep the secrets from me.
Well,
how do you do it, Ryan Anderson?
There's really no set formula. Like, every girl might like something a little different. Not saying you got to change the way you are, but some girls might like you to go up and say, "Hey, would you like a drink?" And that works. Or some girls might say, "Hey, let's go dance." So you bring them out on a dance floor and go
dancing?
dance. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm
I
good,
am horrendous.
but the deal is if you go out there with confidence, you look so much better than you actually are.
I need to go out there and just pretend that I'm not 6'9" and uncoordinated. Maybe then I'd get laid more often. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say you can pretend that it's not the elephant in the room. But, like I'm saying, if you go out there with confidence, dude, even if you're not necessarily got moves, you're good.
If you don't have moves like Jagger, it's fine,
Yeah, you don't.
A girl will like you for you.
Yeah. Some girls like white guy dances,
Yeah, it's weird. There's plenty of fishing to see. Like, you'll see on Facebook, all these people are bragging, look at me with my girlfriend. But, those are the worst relationships where nothing's happening in the bedroom and they have nothing to talk about in real life. Like, the people that post on social media are some of the most fake individuals ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I couldn't say yes because some people, everybody's different, but
most of them.
Yeah, you could say majority rules.
How do you approach social media? Because I think for you it'd be a bit different, but I'm an edgy talk show, and I worked on an edgy show in Cleveland where the fan base went from loving me to hating me, and now they pretty much like me here in town. But there's some people that hide behind a keyboard like pussies and say mean things, and it first got to me, but now I learned to just brush it off. Have you ever been affected by social media? Do you even go on it that often? How do you approach it?
Yeah, I'm on social media quite a bit. I take care of all of my own stuff, and we get the occasional people, the people that jump on there and want to talk some smack, but it's never nothing.
They would never
serious.
see it to your face.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't, but it's never nothing like Max D's gonna beat you,
or I'm gonna kill you or something.
Nobody's ever threatened my life that I've noticed. But I'll be honest with you, I don't necessarily go on there and read every comment. It's like
you can't.
Yeah, I go. I'll post a picture and I don't ever really. I'll post a little smack talk every now and then.
If it's worth responding to, if they don't have the facts right. Like, here's an example. The show I worked on in Cleveland, I pronounced the word 70 downloads funny. Okay, the word downloads. I said it in this interview like downloads. So they played it on their show, and I don't even work there anymore. It's been 6 months since I was gone, and they kept playing over and over 70 downloads. And I actually have 17,000 downloads. So whenever fans tweet at me, all you have is 70 downloads and you suck, I'll tweet at them, I actually have 17,000. So that's when I respond back. Is when I want to prove the hate wrong. But if they say, you're goofy, you're a piece of dirt, no one loves you, that's when I don't respond. Is it sort of like that for you in your way, where you kind of like to play with them and put them in their place, but it's very rare? Do you know what I mean?
I fully get you, but I'll be honest with you. Like, if somebody goes on any of my social medias and talks smack, the fans get so rowdy about it.
Oh, I bet.
So I don't even have to do. I just
I don't
sit
have
back.
that fan base.
I just sit back. So it's honestly I've had to delete posts because of my legit fans going back at some some haters, and it's gotten so deep that I just had to delete the whole deal because it got out of hand.
Each of your posts get 400 likes. That's probably how many I've had since June. Like, I don't get that many likes. Like, how does it feel though? Like, when you post a pic, like, is it weird when you post a pic on Facebook and you refresh the page and it has 10 likes already? Like, does it feel surreal that you have a fan base like that?
Yes and no, but like I say, my dad growing up with my dad, and that's how it was. It was normal to us. So my childhood was just berserk, but it was normal to me.
Yeah, you get used to success, and you get used to people enjoying it. I grew up a nerd that wasn't good at anything, so now that I have some success, I enjoy every second. But I feel like you've enjoyed it since you were born, so you've just always appreciated it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, if I put up a post and it gets 0 likes, like, okay, I won't post anything.
It's likes. I mean, this wasn't even around 10 years ago. It's a new thing.
I won't even. I just say to myself, I'm not going to post anything like that again. Whatever. It doesn't hurt me whether I get enough or not. It's whatever.
Now, are there guidelines about what you can't tweet? Because for us in radio, it's common sense. There have been people that have been so big in radio, people you never thought would get fired, that got fired for tweeting words that were offensive, or they get suspended and they have to say they're sorry for tweeting something. Are there guidelines when it comes to you and what you can't do on social media, or is it more just common sense?
Yeah, we have like our meetings and stuff about our guidelines of what to and not to post, but it's common sense stuff. It's when I go on my social medias, there's I wouldn't necessarily say a majority, but a big group of my social media followers are younger kids. So they don't you know, they might
You have
be
to
posting
keep it clean.
Yeah, they probably post some crazy stuff on there because kids get a little wild these days. But
It's weird, dude.
yeah, it is. But I'm not going to do that. You know, if they look up to me, I don't want them to look at me and say, "Well, he's saying it, so I should." You know, so I don't do that stuff.
Do you ever see it though, where these kids are growing up so fast and they're like 13 years old and they're taking selfies, and you're like, "You're 13 years old. Relax.
Oh,
Play
yeah.
with your toy cars. What are you doing?"
Yeah, but that's what the world is coming. It's the way it's going. You know, so it's one of those things. It's electronics are kind of
What
taking
does your
over.
dad
You know?
think of how things have changed? Like, I can imagine what it would be like for him if he was your age now. Like, it's insane.
The highlight of his electronic career is a bag phone. No lie. My dad is like, he's like anti-electronics. Like, we
I
finally
like those people.
Yeah, well, he's like, he's got a smartphone, but he hates it. Like, he just like
I respect.
he
people
can't
like
figure
I
that
love it.
thing out, and like he's never like been on Facebook himself, never been on Instagram. He's got the pages and all that stuff, and like he's just figured out how to take pictures. So he'll take a picture and he'll send it to his wife to post on his social media.
Does she run it for him?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, it's just because he doesn't know how to, and he could. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't necessarily want to. You know, he doesn't. Because he doesn't really like that I'm on social media quite a bit doing stuff. My little sister, she's 18, so she's like her phone is always in her face. So he hates that, and that's
What
like
does she want to do? Do you know?
she's kind of been, she's the only person in our family that's like bounced back and forth because she's really good at art, like painting and drawing and stuff like that. She wanted to do graphic design and stuff, so she's like bounced back and forth between that and monster trucks. But you know, like reality's starting to set in. She's 18 years old, and you know, life's getting ready to like really happen. So she knows that, you know, okay, she can go to school, and Dad's fully supportive. Like, she can go to college for whatever she wants to go to college for, and he'll take care of it.
Do you have any backup plans, or are you set that you know you'll make this work for your life?
I don't have any backup plans, and I wouldn't necessarily say that this is going to work for the rest of my life, because I don't know, you know, that I'm going to, like, tomorrow or Saturday, I'll get injured and not be able to do it again. But I can tell you that I would definitely not want to go anywhere else. If I can't drive the truck, I want to be at the track.
Or maybe a TV analyst or something with it. I think you'll always have a job. Because what's scary about radio is one day you can be on top of the world, the next day you can be fired. That's why this business is weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't have the necessarily the guarantee, and that's Monster Jam is the same way. Monster trucks are the same way. You know, there's really no solid guarantee. But I will say that because of what my dad has created and done for me and my brothers and him, that I have probably the biggest foundation, you know, as far as like I don't have to worry as much as
now,
anybody
would you
else.
want your kids to be a part of this?
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, you know, the kids that grow up around us, or, you know, us as kids and stuff, who wouldn't want to drive Monster Jam trucks? I mean, that's insane. That's like the epitome of what we're about.
Are you scared they might get hurt?
No, not at all. I mean, there's. Don't get me wrong. I could go and get hurt in the truck in 2 seconds. You can get hurt in the truck, but you have to have the respect. It's just like driving a car. A car can kill you. No hands down, it can kill you. But if you don't respect that, then you have no chance.
What's it like driving it for the first time? Because when you drive a car for the first time, hell, even when you drive a bike or when you ride a bike for the first time as a kid, it's scary. So what's it like driving that for the first time, dude?
It's scary, but at the same time, we kind of prep the situation. So the first time I drove a truck, I was 16 years old, and I was in a massive open field, nothing around me, couple jumps in the center of the field, so like there was no worry of hitting anything, because that's the biggest thing about the monster trucks is they're so huge and knowing your distances. So the tires and things are so gigantic and they hang out so far that when you're going along, you might think you're fitting right between it and you're running over it. You know, so that's the biggest problem. So when we start out in a big open area with no worries and kind of work our way into where we're at now. Like coming through the tunnel of the stadium is tight, and more than likely on either side of that stadium is like massive panel boxes with power for the whole stadium. So you could go down there and drag the one side and probably shut the lights out on one side of the stadium. But, you know, we've trained and we know those things, so we don't. It's never happened to us.
Now, where do you want to see yourself in 10 years?
I want to be in the truck still. I mean, my dad's been doing it for 35 years. I'm going on my 6th year driving, so I don't see why I couldn't do it for 35 or
what
if
was
not
your
more.
year that you peaked? What year do you think where you're like, damn, I got good?
I'd have to say the first year that I had Son of a Digger, it was like, I honestly came out and did so much more than I expected. And it was, it wasn't, like, don't get me wrong, I was trying. I wanted to go as hard as I possibly could every time, just like I do to this day. But I didn't expect it to go nearly as good as it did the first year. Like, I honestly had the best, I won more events than anybody in the entire circuit my first year competing.
Now, for people that might want to come out to the event this weekend, maybe they have other plans, but they're debating about it. Why should they come out? Ryan Anderson, son of a gravedigger.
Well, I mean, if you've never been to an event,
Yeah.
then you don't even know. Like, and there's a lot of people, I've been to an event, but they went in like the 90s or early 2000s. Monster Jam is so huge now, it's insane. Like, I can't even explain it. I couldn't even, not even showing a video gives it justice. You can come out and bring your entire family. I don't care if you've got grandma all the way down to the grandkids. Bring them all, and every single one of them will enjoy it. Everybody has such a good time at Monster Jam, and if you want to go full experience, we have a pit party beforehand. So you can come out before the show, hang out with all the drivers, all the trucks, get up close and personal. You can actually walk right up to the truck. They're right there in the area. Get autographs from all the drivers. There's all kinds of other stuff going on, all kinds of other exhibition shows, dirt bike shows, all kinds of crazy stuff always going on at the pit party. But then the show starts at 7 o'clock, and it's just insane. Like, it's awesome. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. Majority of the time, if they're a new group coming in, the kids are dragging mom and dad and grandma, granddad, whatever. Everybody, their kids are dragging the parents in. At the end of the night, the kids are passed out, ready to go home, cotton candy hangovers, like just hating life. But mom and dad stand in the post-show autograph line for 3 or 4 hours because they want an autograph.
Damn right.
They become fans. They didn't even want to come to Monster Jam. They did it because their kids did. And at the end of the day, they are fans just as much as the kids are.
Now, before I let you go, where can people find you online?
You can go on my Facebook. It's facebook.com/son of a digger, and it's SONUVA. So it's kind of like slang of a digger.
It's a cool way to say it. You're a cool kid. You fit in
Then
well.
same thing on Instagram. It's at son of a digger, SONUVA DIGGER. And then all the ticket information, show information, anything you need besides watching the crazy stuff I do, monsterjam.com.
Well, dude, keep up the good work. I'm glad we met. I'm glad we got to network while having a good time a few months ago. And it's been a lot of fun having you on Hoppe Hour. And here's to hoping you win this weekend, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. It's an honor to be on here. I love it. Can't wait to come back and you be ruling this place with the Hoppe Hour, man.
Damn right, man. We got to hang out this weekend if you can.
For sure. We will.
This has been Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, saying peace out.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.